Hello everyone and welcome to Cop Supply. In this video we're going to be overviewing the AIO bot. We're going to go ahead and break everything down within the bot, so let's get straight into it. So I'm going to go ahead and start off on the copped page, and then I'm going to break down these buttons and then go through each section after. But let's just quickly break down the functionality of the program itself. You can go ahead and scale the bot with the button right here. So you can scale it, and this is as big as it goes from both angles. So this is how big the bot's going to get. It does not have a full screen button at the moment at the time of recording this video. You can minimize it and exit off with the buttons there. Then on the cop tab, to break down this page before we break down these three buttons, we have name, site, status, time added, time checked out, SKU, size, account and actions. And essentially any task that successfully checks out on the task section within AIO bot will come here, and you can go ahead and record all your success. You can delete all your success with this button, and obviously when you go ahead and successfully check out something, you have actions associated with that. Then moving to the three buttons up here, we have a shopping cart, and essentially these are add-ons to the bot. So you have the AIO bot, the Supreme bot, unlimited accounts, extra license, updates, AIO Notify, proxies and servers, and this is all associated with AIO bots. So if you guys want to go ahead and add anything from the products, that you can go ahead and do so, and it gets attached to your license. Then you can go ahead and hit the book with a question mark, and this is essentially tutorials. So if you want to go ahead and check out these tutorials after you watch this video to clear up any specific parts, then please go ahead and do so. Then you have the settings cog, and I've gone ahead and blurred out my activation key as well as my email here. However, we have the first tab, which is account settings. Now on account settings, it says hello, your activation key, which I've blurred out, my activation email, which I've also blurred out, and it tells me when it expires, which is October 3rd 2020. Then for my account details, I have AIO task and Supreme task. So if we go back to here, remember when I mentioned that you can go ahead and add add-ons, I have the Supreme add-on and the AIO add-on here. So I can add up to 100 max tasks for AIO and 200 max tasks for Supreme. Then my version number is 2.5, and extra info is that I have the all-in-one bot and I have the Supreme bot attached to my activation key. Now moving to the capture settings page. On this page you can go ahead and put in some API keys association with some companies here. So you have your two capture keys that you can go ahead and put in there. You can click this button to test it. Then you have your capture solutions API key and capture solutions secret key. Then you have your anti-capture keys. You can go ahead and test it. Then you have your image typers capture username, image typers capture password. Then you have your capture decoder client ID. Then you have def by capture username, def by capture password, and you can go ahead and test everything here. And then there's a notice at the bottom. This is an optional capture settings. You can add your capture accounts, so tokens are requested when a task asks for a capture solve in association with the task page. Use it along with manual solver. It just increases your chance in getting a token. And once you go ahead and put anything in here, please be sure to hit the save button. Moving over to the notification settings, this is basically for sending webhooks to any type of information that happens within the bot. So you can go ahead and configure your notification settings to send a type of notification when you add to cart or checkout. You can go ahead and configure this. Alternatively, you can go ahead and leave these two checked out, but if you want to activate it, you hit it and a tick appears. Then if you want to choose notify using Discord, you can go ahead and put in your Discord webhook URL, and when you go ahead and tick this, the box is available to go ahead and put your URL inside. I'm going to go ahead and untick this. Then if I want to use Twilio, which is another platform for doing this, you can put your SID, your token, your Twilio number and your Twilio receipt number in there. You can do notify using sound and notify and capture load if you wish to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and untick this so it grays out. Then you can do notify using email. So if you go ahead and hit this, you can put the sender email address, the sender email password, the recipient's email, and obviously you can put in your email provider settings, so Gmail, Yahoo, 163.com, QQ.com, and your own custom. And then you have your host 0 and enable SSL if you wish. And there's a notice at the bottom saying make sure to fill in all info in order to receive notification emails. Whichever option works best for you, then please go ahead and do that. Moving to Shopify settings, we have everything focused in here regarding quick task and Shopify monitor. So if you go ahead and set up your bot with any type of monitor for quick task purposes, you can go ahead and select a billing. So we hit this. I actually have a billing at the moment called Michael Harrison. It was just for my own testing purposes. So you can go ahead and hit that if you wish, and it goes ahead and configures that. that, or you can hit all billing, and what that goes ahead and does and switches it to all billing, and it uses every single billing profile. However, at the moment I only have Michael Harrison, so it's only going to use that. Then for size, you can hit random, or if you untick this, you can actually configure the sizes you want to go ahead and go for. So if I were to put like 5, then I'll go for a 5 or 6. You guys get the idea. Then for your task mode, you can put in all modes, so you can go ahead and create tasks on all modes, your quick tasks, or you can go ahead and enable and disable them. So let's say if I want to do normal and boost, then normal and boost will be there. Let's say if I wanted to do fast and boost, then fast and boost will pop up there. And once again, I can go ahead and hit the all modes button if I wish. Then for capture mode, we have the all modes button once again, and then we can go to the drop down and choose between with capture and without capture. So that is up to you. Then you can configure the amount of tasks it gets created when you go ahead and quick task something from a Shopify monitor, and then you can configure your restock delays. Over here, you can add your account details. So if I hit add new, you can go ahead and select the site that you want to go ahead and put an account in. So let's say CDG UK, for example, and I put in an email, my password, I hit save, and then the account email and password is going to pop up here. So when I hit save, it shows this, shows the site, the email, and I can actually hit the actions button here. If I hit this, it pops up the box again. I can go ahead and edit it, and alternatively, I can go ahead and delete it as well. And then finally on this page, you have the save button. So once you do anything here, make sure to hit the save button. It says saved. Then you can import some of these settings as well, and you can export these settings as well if you wish. Now moving to Supreme settings, on here simply all we have is restock delays. Anything you go ahead and change, you can actually type the delay if you wish, or you can use the symbols on either side. And when you go ahead and configure it, make sure to hit the save button so you can save those settings. Then for PayPal settings, it is simply your PayPal email and passwords. Keep in mind when you go ahead and type something in here, it is hidden, but you can hit this button to go ahead and unhide it, and you can utilize that if you wish. The two buttons at the bottom is test, if you want to go ahead and test your PayPal email and password, and also save and start PayPal drive. Moving to the final page, language settings. The two languages currently available is English and the language below it. So if you guys want to go ahead and configure that, then feel free to do so. Remember to hit save when you go ahead and configure it. So now let's move over to the sensor harvester tab. As you guys can see, the sensor harvester tab is for cookie generation purposes. I'm going to go ahead and break it down. So you have your hashtag, that which labels each site, going down a list. Currently there's 36 here, and then you have the site itself, so obviously you can check these sites out there. Number of cookies, which means number of cookies generated per you using the actions here. You can also use logs, so if you want to go ahead and add logs, then when you go ahead and go to any type of site here, it brings up logs. The reason why it says Adidas UK Harvester is because that is the last one I went ahead and popped up. If I were to go over here, it switches to Adidas DE. If I were to go to Adidas NZ, then obviously the harvester will pop up here with the logs. Alternatively, I can actually delete all the cookies and import cookies if I wish. I'm going to go ahead and disable this and show you how this works. So let's say I was on Adidas UK and I hit this button. It will go ahead and pop up Adidas UK and begin the cookie generation process. Alternatively, I can go ahead and delete this as well. Now breaking down the proxies tab, we have name, amount of proxy site, status, list type, and actions. Now at the bottom you have add new, delete all, which means adding new proxy, delete all proxies. You can buy proxies from their website and also open a proxy tester. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how to add new proxies. We're going to hit add new. This is going to pop up. I'm going to call it video test, and make sure to remember that as we will use it later in the overview. Then we can go IS enabled if we wish. Then we can configure this. Is this going to be monitor proxies or normal proxies? I'm going to put it as normal proxies. I can also use my current IP as a proxy. Also keep in mind, if you're actually on a home local PC on a server, some sites don't allow server IPs, so please keep that in mind when you're hitting this option. I'm going to go ahead and leave that because I actually have a proxy on my second screen here, so I'm going to go ahead and grab it. But before I do that, I can actually configure what this proxy list and the proxies within it are going to be used for. So if I want to be specific about it and use certain sites, so let's say I wanted to use Active Athlete and Adidas, then I can go ahead and tick that, and then this proxy list won't work for any other sites. However, I want to go ahead and put it for all sites. I'm going to hit this button. I'm going to put my proxy in there. I've got it and blurred it out, but you guys can clearly tell that there is a proxy there. I'm going to hit save. That's going to pop up. Now we have video name. Amount of proxies in the site is 1. Is available for all sites. The status is disabled at the moment. The list type is normal. And then we have this button which goes ahead and enables the list. Then we have this button that can pop up the list once again to go ahead and configure. Then we have the delete button, and we have this button to go ahead and open up the proxy tester. When we open up the proxy tester, the proxy from the proxy list is already in there, so all the proxies within video test but gets put in here, so I can go ahead and test it. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to something else. I'm going to go ahead and scroll through a site till I see one that's suitable. I'm going to click Supreme AU because the example I'm going to show you within the test section is going to be about Supreme AU. My proxy is there. I can go ahead and configure my proxy timeout from 25. Once again, I can type in the number or use the two symbols on the right and left of it. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. Then for your results, your proxy will be there, your website ping time, the status and the country, and then you have alternative options at the bottom that I'm going to show you. So you can go ahead and hit the test proxies button, going to test it, and as you guys can see, it's not working. So the proxy went red, the website ping time is 1, status not working, and the countries unknown because it is completely not working. Now if I were to have a list of loads of proxies, let's say like 100 proxies within the video test list, and I were to enable this option, when I hit this option, hit save, what that basically does is it'll test it, and any of the proxies that don't go ahead and work will be deleted from the list, so you can only keep the successful ones. And I'm pretty sure everyone that's listening to this wants to utilize that option because you don't want to be using proxies that don't work. However, it is optional to use this option down here. Then at the bottom here we have total not working proxies. We have 1 because there's only 1 proxy in the list that doesn't work. Then total working proxies is 0, and total not authenticated proxies is 0 as well. So now we're going to move over to the billing section. As you guys can see, I already have a billing profile created. I'm going to break down what the screen looks like, and then I'm going to move over to the billing creation process. So I'll break down everything, do not worry guys. Well, we have the type, and this is essentially in association with your payment methods. You have Visa, Amex, MasterCard and COD, and then you have your friendly name, and this is basically for distinguishing this between other type of billing profiles. This is completely configurable within the billing profile. Then you have your details, and then your details are here. My billing address is 123 Test Road, so is my shipping address, and my email is johndoe1@gmail.com. and then you have some actions here. If you hit this, you can go ahead and edit the billing. I will break down this in just a second. If you hit this, it duplicates it, and that goes very nicely with the next thing I do want to talk about, which is the delete button. You can go ahead and delete billing profiles by hitting this. And the final few things before we actually go ahead and create a billing profile, you have your import button. If you go ahead and hit this, it opens up the file directory that you guys can go ahead and look through. Then you have your export button, so you have billing profiles in here that you want to use elsewhere. You hit the export button and the file directory goes ahead and pops up, and you can take these profiles and use them elsewhere. Then you have the delete all button. This goes ahead and deletes every single profile in here. And then you have the add new button. When you hit the add new button, this is what pops up, add new billing. When using your cards on different proxies, please notify your card processors / companies that you are traveling so they can allow foreign transactions. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that, then please go ahead and do so. So we're going to break down this. We have billing address, shipping address and card info. Now if you want to use the same shipping as billing, you can go ahead and hit this and it grays out this. That's why if you look at my previous profile here, the billing and shipping is exactly the same because I had this option enabled. So if you go to my billing address, we have the first name, last name, address 1, address 2, city, state, zip code, your select a country drop down, house number, phone number, your friendly name, which is over here. Then you have the type of card, like I said before, your type is there and you can configure it here. Then you have your name on your card, the card number, the expiry month, the expiry year, security codes, email, your birthday, and also the availability to configure this billing profile to check out once per website. So I'm actually just creating my billing profile for this video, and as you guys can see, as I'm editing the billing address, the shipping address is also being edited as well. That shows that the billing address and the shipping address will be exactly the same. And just to break down the select a country drop down, you guys can go ahead and use a scroll bar if you wish, or you can actually type into it and you can go to a certain option if you wish. I'm going to go ahead and put United Kingdom. Then just to reiterate, your friendly name goes here, which appears on this part of the billing profile. So I'm going to go ahead and call this video test, which needs to be remembered for later in the overview. Now I'm going to go ahead and click save here, and as you guys can see, there's a validation error. Now what actually AIO bot does is it makes sure the billing profiles are validated even if you're doing some type of test profile. So as you guys can see, I actually intentionally messed up my zip code here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save again, and as you see, the validation error shows me what's wrong. It says you selected a billing country equal United Kingdom, but the zip code does not match there. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that and put in something That makes sense here. So if I go ahead and do this and click save, the error with my zip code has been fixed as there's not a red box here. However, it has an issue with the phone number. So as you guys can see, this is clearly wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and change it. So I've gone ahead and changed it to something more suitable. When I hit save, as you guys can see, it's worked and video test has been created. That is the friendly name. The details are over here. And once again, we have our actions here that I've already gone through. Now we're going to move over to the final page, which is the task page. The big thing in front of us right now is that there's no task yet. I'm going to go ahead and break down a few things before we actually create some tasks here. So we have the hashtag to indicate the number of tasks. We have the site, which is obviously the site of the task. We have email, which is the email attached to the task. And then we have the size. So if you go ahead and configure a size in your task creation process, and that will appear here. You have the product. So this is depending on your keywords. You have your CC, which is obviously your billing, and your task mode for the task, the state of the task, and the actions associated with the task you create. Now at the bottom, you have this option to go ahead and pop up all the options here. So I'm going to go ahead and break all of them down. You have the export button to go ahead and export task out of AIO bot. You have the import button to go ahead and import task into AIO bot. The mass edit link is actually grayed out right now because we have no task, so I will go ahead and revisit that. Then we have the delete all button, the stop all button, the start all button, and the add new button to go ahead and add a task, which I will get to. Then we have our capture. Now breaking down the upper capture button, which is what I'm going to do before we actually create the tasks. As you guys can see, it says hashtag email proxy and actions. This is for your Gmail accounts in association with solving captures that come from your tasks. So the first option is guest. So you want to go ahead and just use guest without any email. This is what's going to pop up a little Chrome tab here that is utilizing developer mode. So within this, you can go ahead and select what your capture solver is going to be for. I already said in this overview that the test task I'm going to create is for Supreme. So I'm going to hit Supreme and it's going to go ahead and pop up the Supreme solver. As you guys can see, it says connected in green text. You can also test your connections. If you hit this, as you guys can see, the test succeeded because I have a stable Wi-Fi connection. So that is my Supreme solver. I'm going to go ahead and XR that for now. You can also add a Gmail account, which is something I'm going to go ahead and do right now. As you guys can see, I've entered an email, a password. I can also set a proxy to this capture. However, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hit save. It pops up here. It says one email. There's no proxy, so there's no proxy there. If I hit the play button, it pops up the harvester. It asks me to select the site again. I can go ahead and hit Supreme. However, you can go ahead and hit YouTube as well, and this goes ahead and pops up YouTube. It asks me to log in as well. So if I want to play YouTube to activate activity on my account, and that will work well. As you guys can see, it's actually logging into the account. The account doesn't exist, so obviously it's just going to keep looping with the wrong password here, but I'm going to go ahead and X out. So just know when you hit the YouTube icon, it goes ahead and logs in based on the email and password you put in your Gmail account. So if it's wrong, then it's going to loop with the wrong password or wrong email, depending on what part of it's wrong. But I'm going to go ahead and hit Supreme here, and then it's going to say Supreme solver connected, even if the Gmail is wrong, so keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and X out of that, and now let's go ahead and create a task here. Now for this part of the overview, I've gone ahead and singled out an item on the Supreme EU website. This is the item. As you guys can see, it's available in red and black for £42. It is the Supreme C-Line waterproof case, so please keep that in mind. We're going to be using this. It's part of the accessories tab, and now we're going to go ahead and create our task here. So we're going to hit add new, and it's very similar to what we saw in the capture harvester. We have a few options here. We have Supreme, Shopify Demandware, Mesh, Foot Site, Other, and then obviously your Shopify monitor. I'm going to go ahead and hit Supreme here. Then we have the few options. We have Supreme EU, Japan, and US. Now I know this is only relative to Supreme, and maybe some of you guys want to go ahead and see a Shopify part of this video. However, just keep in mind, this type of task creation process is very similar to a lot of other things within the bot, but if you guys want to go ahead and refer to the manuals on that button over there, then you guys can go ahead and do that after you watch the video. So we're going to hit Supreme EU because I am from the EU, and the guest button is essentially used for sites that have accounts. Now because Supreme doesn't actually have accounts with you, you go ahead and put in your payment details per checkout. That's why you can't actually change that. That's why it's set as guest. But for sites on Shopify where you can actually log in, if you uncheck this button, you can go ahead and put in your own account there. Now for this section, you have the monitor type. So if you hit this, you can change it from a keyword to a variant. You can also change the quantity there if you wish. I'm going to set it back to 1. Then you have the size of the item. I'm going to leave it blank because on this item there's no sizing available, so it's one size, so I'm going to leave it blank. Then for keywords, it is the waterproof case. I'm going to do waterproof case, and that's going to go ahead and pick it up. Then we have negative keywords if we wish to do that. Then we have the color. I want to go for a red one, so I'm going to type in red. The section on the site is in the accessories section, so we're going to go ahead and accessories. And then for the billing section, you can go ahead and select one if you wish, or you can select multiple. So if you hit Michael Harrison and video test, it pops up there. Alternatively, we can go ahead and put all billing, and it will go ahead and use every single billing profile. However, I'm going to go ahead and put video test, seeing so that is the one we configured within this video. Then you can actually change the amount of tasks that it creates based on these settings. I'm going to leave it at 2 just to demonstrate something, and then we can enable 3D secure, which is relative to Supreme. I'm going to go ahead and create the task here, and as you guys can see, 2 tasks have been created. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is that you can go ahead and manage different tasks on different sites all at once. So if I hit this button, it goes ahead and minimizes everything into just one little text here. If I hit this button again, it shows me the task for that website. So let's break down what it says here. So the hashtag is obviously the number of tasks, the site is Supreme AIO, the email obviously is for guest, and you can't log into any account within Supreme. The size is random because there is no size available with the item. Then we have our product, the keyword is waterproof in case, the color is random, the category is accessories, and then for our CC information, Michael Harrison. Our task mode is mobile, our status is idling, and then we have our actions, which is start, and then we can edit the task if we wish. Then we have this button which duplicates it. Then we have the delete buttons. You can go ahead and delete your tasks if you wish. Now when you go ahead and right click this task, you can start selected tasks, stop selected tasks, delete selected tasks, schedule selected tasks. So if I hit this, you can go ahead and put a time here if you wish. Going back to this drop down here, we have our mask selected task edit. So we hit this, you can change the size, monitor type, and then obviously your billing as well. If you hit this again, we can go back to set Shopify password early link page, and we can set task delay. So if you hit this, you can go ahead and change it if you wish. And then you have browser checkout, which goes ahead and pops up a browser if you want to use browser checkout. However, we're not going to go ahead and do that. Now, one thing with the AIO bot, it goes ahead and gives you notices on what's wrong with certain things. So as you guys can see, this is still grayed out, and I've gone ahead and hit this, and I hit the mass edit link, and it says here, Supreme mobile tasks only work with keywords. So it's actually telling you that you can't use a link here. That's why I still grayed out, so please keep that in mind. Now the final thing to go ahead and do is go ahead and run the task. I'm going to go ahead and get a capture here. As you guys remember, the account actually isn't real, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that. I'm going to hit guest. I'm going to go ahead and X out of that. And on the tab here, we can go ahead and configure what we want to use it for. So this is for Supreme, so we're going to hit Supreme, X this. Everything's working. Let's test that connection one final time. Test succeeded. So let's go ahead and resize the box here so we can fit both on the screen. So we can go ahead and do that. Now when we hit start, goes and does it, I can go ahead and stop it, which I did, and I actually paused it. There you go. But let's say I wanted the task to go through the entire process, then I can go ahead and hit this green button. It's going to go through it, waiting for capture, processing, and then it's going to go through a loop because the billing isn't accurate. And just one thing to go ahead and point out, when it runs through, you can hear that capture sound. I'm going to keep stopping and starting the task just to let you listen to the sounds, but this sound is going to pop up when a capture is available and it's been sent from a task. So we'll go ahead and solve it, and it'll go through the process. So keep that in mind. If you're ever running AIO bot and you're going for a site that requires loads of tasks to sit in a waiting queue and then a capture goes through, then keep in mind that sound is what tells you that a capture is being sent to one of your harvesters. So that concludes the overview for AIO bot at CopSupply.